Not once did I ever see it coming, because if I did, I would have done something to try to stop it, or at least I like to think that I would have. And there's a lot of reasons why we never see it coming. It's not because we're blind, although metaphorically, maybe it is.
This is the Military Sherpa Podcast. Left, right, left leadership insights from America's best. With your Military Sherpa, Mark Tilsher.
Welcome back to the Military Sherpa Podcast. I am your host, Mark, and I am excited to be back with you. We've been doing 2 episodes a week for a while now, and it's great to have you on this journey. I'm really liking the flow and the way that we're breaking it up, and today we are doing the midweek mindset, and the midweek mindset is all about motivating you and helping you get over the hump from Monday to Friday. I work from home myself, but I definitely remember what it was like going through the grind and looking forward to the weekend, more so for spending time with my family than anything else. I didn't dread going to work, especially the latter half of my military career, but I definitely looked forward to spending more time with my family. So today's midweek mindset is a quote, and it comes from my new book, which launches in just 2 weeks, The Leader's Garden: How to Grow Healthy, High-Performing People. It launches the first week of May. It'll be available on Amazon. And here's the quote: never assume that someone sees the light at the end of their struggle. Never assume that someone sees the light at the end of their struggle. And this quote comes from a very deep place for me. As I communicate quite often, I've had 12 friends that have died of drug overdoses and suicides. I've had friends that have sold drugs, friends that have gone into prostitution, friends that have spiraled in what we call the pit of despair and ultimately lost the battle with themselves and took their own lives or succumbed to drug overdose. And I have a lot of regrets in those situations. There are some of them where I was supposed to call someone and they died roughly around the time that I was supposed to call, and I never placed that call. And I live with that for the rest of my life. And even though it's happened 12 times in my life, the one consistency, the one thing that rings true over all of them is that I never saw it coming. Not once. Not once did I ever see it coming, because if I did, I would have done something to try to stop it, or at least I like to think that I would have. And there's a lot of reasons why we never see it coming. It's not because we're blind, although metaphorically, maybe it is. It's not because we're blind. The first is that we tend to trivialize, and this is not a comprehensive list by any stretch, but here's a few things that come to my mind. First, we tend to trivialize the experiences of others. We see the surface, but we don't see the depth. And so when something is bothering someone, we have to remember, for somebody like me, I say the first thing that comes to my mind. You generally have a tendency to know what I'm thinking in the moment. I hide my deep feelings, but I tend to say whatever comes to my mind. Someone like my wife, she only speaks after she's considered it. And by the time she brings it up to you, you can know that it's been bothering her for a really long time. But because I say the first thing that comes to my mind and she considers things before she says them, it's very easy for me to trivialize her feelings in the moment. Because if she didn't mention it 5 or 6 or 7 times, it's probably not bothering her all that much. We see the surface, but we don't see the depth. We don't understand what's going on underneath. And it can be easy for us to trivialize what other people are going through. My friend's struggling. He lost his job. Man, that's tough. He's going to get through it. Oh, this is, we can look at situations like that and we can easily put ourselves in their head. Or we can just see it as one aspect of our friend, when in reality, it may be something far deeper for them. And it may have rocked them to their core and we don't realize it. Or they may have been going through so many things that this one thing, well, it seems small to us, becomes massive in their life. And to that end, the second one is that we tend to diminish the weight that other people are carrying because we don't see it, because we don't understand it, because we don't comprehend how it impacts them. I have 4 children. The way that they react to a splinter is very different. The way they react to having dirty hands is very different. The way they react to me getting upset is very different. When I'm upset with my children, one of them is upset with me. When I'm upset with my children, one of them shuts down, stares at the floor, and can't wait to get out of the room. When I'm upset with my children, one of them carries that burden for a really long time and just won't let it go. When I'm upset with my children, the last one has a tendency to brush it off because they can justify their behavior. All 4 of them experience exactly the same thing, but they carry the weight very differently. We tend to diminish the weight that others carry, especially when it's something we brush off easily. If your boss tells you to get a haircut, the connectors, if you speak 5 voices, the connectors in our world, they're going to carry that burden. Man, he's mad, he's upset, he doesn't view me the same way. A pioneer, gets told that they need to get a haircut, or a guardian gets told that they need to get a haircut. They might feel that. Oh man, I need to get that taken care of. Oh yeah, I knew I knew I'm overdue. I can't believe that I let myself go this far. They carry that weight very differently. I like to liken it to a basketball player versus a football player. In each sport, there are different burdens that they carry, different rules and different strengths and weaknesses and skill sets that are required, and they go through different trials. And it's very easy to compare a basketball player to a basketball player. It's easy to compare a lineman to a lineman. But the moment that we switch it up and we say, all right, lineman, you're going to have a dunk competition. Or lineman, you're going to play one-on-one. Or we take the basketball player and we say, hey, you're going to be on the line now. You're going to be a wide receiver. Hey, you're going to be a running back. You see all those big dudes in front of you that, hey, normally if you get a little jostle, you get a foul. Now we need you to slam into them with the full weight of your body and push through that line and make it to the other side. In either scenario, things won't end well. Everyone has their own strengths, weaknesses, skill sets, and is going through their own trials. It's very difficult to weigh the weight that someone else is carrying accurately. They're not us. The more that we experience others and the way that they react to different burdens, the more our brain can compute and try to comprehend what others are struggling through. And those of us who are born with more empathy certainly can do this a little bit better than those of us who are more task-oriented, those of us who are problem solvers. And then last, not everyone has a champion in their corner. And so when someone is struggling, the best thing we can do is treat them like individuals, try to understand what they're going through, and be their champion. Hashtag. And that's what my new book, The Leader's Garden: How to Grow Healthy, High-Performing People, is all about. These are the concepts I jump into. These are the concepts I get deep on, and I cannot wait to share it with you. In just 2 weeks, we're trying to get to the #1 bestsellers list on Amazon so we can reach as many people as possible. I know the window on my book launch team is closed, but I would love your support on launch day. There's going to be a secret surprise for all of you, and so be paying attention here. Be checking your email. I can't wait to talk to you. See you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Military Sherpa Podcast with Mark Tilsher.